Okay guys, so we're going to have some fun today. We are back in the garage and we are going to work on my favorite thing, which is playing Corvair. The goal today is to finally get around to getting some progress made on Antonio, which is my 67 Corvair Monza. Now, if you're not familiar with this car, I do have a video earlier on my channel from last year where I introduced the car and talked kind of about where I got it and what the story was. But basically, I got it as a project car it was mostly stripped down for paint already, and it didn't have rims and tires, and it had a hole in the gas tank. There was an engine fire, and the engine harness was, the wiring harness was all melted together, and I didn't want to play and start, and I threw a bunch of tune-up parts at it, and kind of got all that worked out, and did pretty well. It's a really solid car. It starts, it stops, it runs, it drives, it's insured, it's registered. It's basically, I don't know, it's on its way to being a really, really cool car. My goal for the next couple months through the summer is to continue that process of making it a durable, good running, dependable vehicle, and finish up the mechanics of it, the mechanics side of it. And then when I do get that done, and if I can afford it, I'm going to get it to a paint shop and get a nice paint job put on it, then get some rims and tires put on it, and then after that, tackle the interior and get a full interior put into it. Now that's, you know, kind of pipe dreaming a little bit, because as you probably know, that's thousands and thousands of dollars. But we just do one thing at a time. You know, if you don't do anything, nothing gets done. So we just knock out one little project at a time, and we have fun doing it. So my goal today is to get this thing in the garage, get it up on some quick jacks, and then we can kind of go over the punch list of things that I want to do to get started. So we'll get to that. Real quickly, before we get there, give you kind of a quick update on what is going on the rest of my projects. Got a lot going on. Here's Antonio waiting to be pulled in. My wife's 64 Monza is still patiently waiting its engine rebuild. It's quite bare in here. There's my quick jacks. I need to pull those out and get them in position for Antonio to get put up on. I've got a new set of tires that we'll talk about that'll go on Antonio. And in the meantime, my engine parts are all here waiting to be installed. I just am trying to round up some cash to make a parts order to get the block built and the heads built and get that all going. In the meantime, I got a really fun project here. My son and I have spent the last few weeks rebuilding, tearing down completely and building this 1989 Honda XR250R dirt bike. Just an incredibly awesome vintage bike. I've got every nut and bolt all completely tore down and cleaned up and serviced and ready to rebuild. I've got the frame all sanded and painted, and we're starting to put some things back on it. A couple days ago, we got new tires and tubes all installed on the rims. We got them all polished up and looking good. So that project is on the roll, and that's going to be super exciting. I'll kind of try to keep you up to date on what's going on there. And the Corvette is just patiently waiting to be played with. There's not a whole lot that needs done to it. It's pretty well maintained and ready to go. I haven't been super busy with projects and things that happen in my life, and so I haven't had a lot of time to play with this year. Hopefully that changes, and we can spend some time this summer. I'll bring you guys some cool footage of it out on the road and having some fun day trips or something like that along the way. So my goal now is to get this bad boy pulled in and get her up on the jack. So let me find the keys and we'll get this thing started up. Okay, let's get this thing fired up and pulled into the garage. Hello, Antonio. You ready to get fixed? Okay. Key on, neutral, brakes on, a couple of magic pumps, and let's see here. You ready? Here we go. Come on. Almost. Come on, old guy. One more time. Not quite wanting to play yet. Okay, I had to adjust the power going to the fuel pump. I think we might be in better shape now. Let's try it again. Here we go, Antonio. You can do it, buddy. Yeah, there we go. All right. Looking good. Old Antonio. Freaking love this car, dude. It's gonna be so nice when it's done. It is gonna just be so nice. Cannot wait. Okay, let's get it in the garage and get it on the quick jacks. Okay, see if I can keep from running into the Corvette. That would be super cool. Bring it on in. Boom. Yeah, Antonio. It's going to be a good summer. Here we go. Beautiful. All right. Let's get this thing up on the quick jacks and we will get started working. Okay, well, I've got her all up on jacks and up in the air, ready to get worked on. My quick jacks all set up and running. I absolutely love my quick jacks. You know, they take a few minutes to get set up safely and properly, but once you get them set up, I mean, they are an absolute dream. They give you like 20 plus inches, I think, of working room, and you know, you can get under there with a creeper and take care of whatever you need. They're super safe. I do set a couple of extra jack stands down just because I'm you know, paranoid, but they are fully self-containing with safety jacks of their own, and so super cool, super neat. I'm really happy with them. I'm really glad I got them. I've had probably 9 or 10 different kinds of cars on these jacks, and they've just worked flawlessly. So anyway, we're ready to start working on this thing. Just kind of real quickly with my game plan. My plan with this car is to be able to pull it into the garage when I want to work on it, and pull it out into the driveway and park it when I'm not working on it, so that I can still, you know, have my wife park her car in here and still have use of the garage, because I've got, you know, all the bays. You know, last summer all 3 of my bays were you know, stacked up with project cars, and we had to park out in the driveway. So anyway, I'm trying to alleviate that problem this summer, and so I want to have the car run and be reliable and pull in and pull out. But what's the problem I'm having now is that over the winter, this car was parked outside, and it developed a pretty gnarly transmission leak and an oil leak. I think the valve covers are leaking on oil, and the transmission pan is leaking fluid. So I'm going to crawl under there and figure out what is leaking. Can I get away with just a couple of gaskets on the pans and the valve covers? Hopefully that's the case, and we'll get the leaks figured out so that I can park it in the driveway with, you know, I think every Corvair on earth leaks a little bit, and I'm okay with that. I just can't have it be an absolute mess. So that's my first plan of attack. I will get onto that and figure that out. And then my next plan of attack is to get progress made on my rims and tires. Now, when I bought this car, it did not have rims and tires. It didn't come with any. So I bought these used rims and used tires on Marketplace, and I didn't pay a lot of money for them, thankfully, but they've gotten me good for a year, but they've developed bad leaks over the winter, and a couple of them are leaking at the valve stems, and a couple of them are leaking at the beads, and a couple of them have cracks along the sidewalls where there's actually air coming out of those as well. So I'm having to put air in them every couple of days just to keep it parked. And where I want to have them, I want to have a roller that I can drive in and out of the garage. And eventually, once it's by the end of summer, hopefully, it's a, you know, fully functioning, safe car to drive. I need to have good tires. So they're just rollers, they're temporary, but I need to have safe tires. So I just went over to Walmart and picked up a new set of Douglas tires. They're nothing special, but they are brand new, and I'm super excited about that. So I will pop all these tires off of these rims, and I'll probably take a little time and maybe polish up the rims a little bit while I have them off, just to make them look a little cooler, and then get them back on. And I actually have a neighbor with a balancing machine in his garage, so that's handy. So I'll let him balance them up so that they don't vibrate once I actually do, get the courage up to drive this car over 50 miles an hour. So I think that's my game plan. Those are the two near projects that I need to knock out. And then after that, I've got a whole laundry list of mechanical things I need to work on: brakes and a fuel system and tune-up parts and tidying up electrical parts in the engine bay and all kinds of jazz. So by the end of summer, I hope to have this car up and running as a full runner that I can get to a body shop and have some body work done on it and paint done on it, interior worked on it. And man, I'm going to have me a sweet hot rod, hopefully within a year, I'm hoping. So that's hopefully along with getting the engine put into this car, getting this motorcycle put in, and a whole bunch of other projects that I work on. So anyway, I think that's about it for today. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And I think that's going to do it. So enjoy.